So, I have a warning letter that I would like to discuss with you guys today. The warning letter that we're talking about is for Repare Skincare. We're going to discuss some of the key critical points and insights and what the FDA has highlighted as far as violations by this company. Some of the critical things that they've highlighted is that they've put onto the market a new and unapproved drug. I think they were trying to get a product on the market as a cosmetic, but they're making claims, therefore it is a drug. So we're going to discuss some of the key issues that are highlighted by the FDA in their warning letter. The letter addresses several serious concerns regarding the company's marketing and sale of chemical peel products. So understanding these points is crucial for maintaining FDA compliance and then most importantly, protecting consumers and safeguarding public health. So the FDA warning letter was dated July 25th of this year and is sent to Repare, which is located in Connecticut. The letter outlines several violations related to the marketing and sale of trichloroacetic acid, TCA, and then glycolic acid chemical peels. So the primary concern in this warning letter is that Repare has put forward a TCA and glycolic acid chemical peel that would be considered an unapproved new drug under the FD&C Act. These products are marketed with claims that they can treat and cure and prevent various conditions, making them drugs under Section 210G1 of the FD&C Act. So some of the examples of the claims that were put out by this company for the TCA skin peel. Revitalizing TCA skin peel. Customize your strength from 15% to 100%. Target wrinkles, acne, and imperfections. One thing I would like to call out there is 100%. So 100% acid on the skin is not a good idea. There are guidance documents and industry best practices that are published and put out for manufacturers to follow when you're designing products. And a lot of them have limits for how potent products can be and what's safe for use on the skin and like for customers and patients, etc. And that would be something that would get evaluated if you had submitted your product for approval to the FDA. Another one is reduce fine lines and wrinkles, stimulate collagen production, reveal softer, more youthful skin, and visibly fade freckles, scar, and hyperpigmentation. So those are claims. It's saying we do these things, but they haven't gone through the process of getting that reviewed, approved, and that supplying data saying that that is something that this product does. Their glycolic acid peel. Versatile glycolic acid peel range from 25% to 70% professional formula for age-defying skin. And so that's another thing to call out. Again, the percentages of how much acid you're putting on your skin. You have to get that approved. You got to do the data, got to understand what's safe for customers. And then it says that it removes the outer layer of the epidermis and dermis and reduces fine lines, crepey skin, acne, large pores, age spots, and hyperpigmentation. So those are some of the claims that they've put out about these products without providing substantiation behind them. And then in addition, like this is a public health risk when you're putting something on the market that hasn't been vetted, approved, and you've gone through all the data, the testing for it. And so the FDA had received several adverse event reports and injuries that would include burns, wounds, pain, swelling, and scarring. And some of the people in like these cases required emergency room care. They had to go to a dermatologist and then even surgical procedure. So that's like a pretty big deal. They're putting stuff out there and people are burning their skin. And I think that circles back that you got to do your due diligence and when you're putting things on the market, and also keep in mind when you're buying products. One thing I wanted to share that all of products that are considered drugs or over-the-counter drugs, etc., are listed on the FDA website. So you can go look that up. If you're in the store and you see something that is a skincare product making claims, you can just do a Google image search and you can look up that company and see if that product has been approved and cleared by the FDA. And so that's widely available to all people, anyone who has access to the internet. And the same thing, you can look up this warning letter on the FDA website. All of that is free to all consumers in the market, so you can stay informed. But the issue here is the marketing and sales of these unapproved drugs violates sections 505A and 301D of the Food, Drug, and Cosmetics Act, which prohibit introducing unapproved drugs into interstate commerce. The specific violations is 505A requires that new drugs have an approved application before being marketed, and then 301D prohibits the introduction of unapproved drugs into interstate commerce. So the letter emphasizes that Repare LLC is responsible for investigating and correcting these violations. That's what happens when you get a warning letter. The FDA requires that the company must ensure compliance with all of the federal laws and regulations. The letter also provides an opportunity to address the violations and outlines the steps required to do so. So Repare will respond to the warning letter and all of the citations, and they have to do that within 15 days of receipt. The response that they give to them needs to include an explanation of the corrective actions that they've taken against these violations, and then the documentation to support that. And then if the corrective actions cannot be completed within a specified time, the company must provide the reasons for the delay, and then a proposed timeline for completion. And so if, for example, this company decided not to do that or failed to do so, there are repercussions for that. And so some of those are legal action. You could seize the product from the market, and then injunction. And then most importantly, I think, is when you don't address these things, because people make mistakes, right? But it breaks the trust with consumers and people that are buying your products. And then in summary, the warning letter highlighted the critical issues of marketing an unapproved new drug, which would be the chemical peel products, and then the risks associated with them, some of the adverse reactions, etc. And that compliance with FDA regulations is essential to avoid any legal repercussions and then ensure the safety of consumers ultimately. And I wanted to say thank you guys for listening to this. Today, I have a little bit more information following talking about claims for cosmetics and then how the FDA and other agencies regulate that. So let's talk regulation with cosmetics and claims. The law currently does not require cosmetic labeling to have FDA approval before the products go out onto the market. And the FDA does not have a list of approved accepted claims for cosmetics, but there are limits to what you can say when you're marketing a cosmetic product. So under the law, the information on cosmetic labeling, including claims, must be truthful and it must not be misleading. In addition, if a product is marketed with claims for purposes such as treating or preventing a disease affecting the structure or the function of the body, including the skin, it is considered a drug according to the law. And you must meet the requirements of drugs, even if it is for appearance. So because the FDA does not have the authority to approve claims before cosmetics go on the market, you may see cosmetics with claims that go beyond what the law permits, and the FDA does monitor these, and then they take action against companies that they become aware of, and they send them warning letters to different cosmetic firms. And then in addition, while the FDA does regulate cosmetic labeling, the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, regulates advertising claims. So cosmetic product claims are regulated to ensure that they're truthful and not misleading. And so in the United States, the FDA oversees cosmetic labeling claims, ensuring they do not make unapproved drug claims, but the FTC regulates advertising claims for cosmetics to prevent deceptive practices. And then in the European Union, cosmetic claims are regulated by the Commission Regulation 655/2013, which sets out common criteria for cosmetic claims to ensure that they are substantiated and not misleading. In addition, there are some cosmetics that are also drugs, right? And so we would consider those an OTC drug, an over-the-counter drug, something you can buy at the store without a prescription. So if you're going to buy a product like that, or it's claiming to be something like that, its labeling must comply with regulation for both OTC drugs, over-the-counter drugs, and then cosmetic ingredient labeling. So the drug ingredients must appear on the OTC drug labeling requirements in accordance with 21 CFR 201.66 C2 and D. And then the cosmetic ingredients must appear separately in order of decreasing prominence. So that means the most ingredient at the top and then the least at the bottom. And so I want to make that clear because there are some combination products that are on the market, but when you're reviewing the products that you want to buy or to make sure that you're not buying something that's misbranded, adulterated, or has bad claims, make sure you look at the labeling. In addition to that, I think there are some questions about cosmetics being labeled FDA approved. That is not true. That does not happen. As a part of prohibition against false or misleading information, no cosmetic may be labeled or advertised with statements suggesting that the FDA has approved the product because they don't go through a formal approval process. When you design a cosmetic, you design it in a lab, you meet all your specifications, and you put it on the market because it's not intended to treat anything. It's not supposed to change structure or function or heal, have any therapeutic effect. So anything that does that must have data to support it, and you must go through the proper testing. So that is what I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the information that was shared and that some of it is useful for you. And I hope it enables you in some of your consumer practices to do your due diligence and look up the products that you're buying. I'd be interested to see if anybody has questions about products that they have in their medicine cabinet or their makeup bag. I encourage you to read the labels, look them up online, make sure your cosmetics